dating to relationships, from sex to love, from Christianity to politics, from darkness to light, you have now entered into the real zone. Welcome to Conversations with Trent, where no topic of conversation is safe from discussion. Now, here he is, Mr. Epic himself, Trent Williams.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on, beautiful people? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to Conversation with Trent and Friends. We got a good one here tonight. And of course, Lars pulling up the rear here. We're talking about Men Cry Too. We're talking about Men Cry Too. We're going to talk about how society places us in a box. Not only society, but women as well. And men as well place men in the box who actually cry. But let's be honest and fair. Let's be real about it for a second, right? When was the last time you saw a man cry? When was the last time you saw a man cry? Think about it. Let's bring Lion in. Let's talk about it for a minute. One sec. One sec. There we go. What's going on, La?
None. How you doing? Your mic kind of low. I can't really hear you.
I'm sorry. Islam, I'm sorry.
You can hear me?
I could definitely hear you. I could definitely hear you. Volume's coming in pretty hot there over here.
Okay. Can't really hear.
Pretty hot. You can't hear it all? I think the problem is between the seat and the device on your end.
It might get low. I really can't hear you.
You really can't hear me.
Speak louder.
I'm looking at the volumes there. Everything's pretty hot over here.
Okay. All right. Well, our topic today is what? Men cry too, right?
We're talking about men cry too. Men cry too. So let's be honest and fair, man. Let's be honest and fair about this when we talk about men cry too. How society and, traditional societal views, goes with how they associate masculinity and emotional restraints. How men cry and, being vulnerable and all that stuff. Everybody, look at that as a negative. Think about it for a second. If a man cried to you, how would you respond to that? Honestly, how would you respond to that? Or let's just say, how have you responded to that in the past? You can't hear me, La? I think something's wrong with La's microphone here, folks. We'll be right back, folks. Let me take a quick break here and see if we can get this together for 1 quick second.
Check out the creative work of the author Trent Williams of www.taylorkennedymedia.com. Chapter of the Delta gives us a peek at his life-changing events. And if that's not enough, Trent tells you more about his brothers and his life through memoirs in his book, The Four Horsemen. His blogs and daily stimulating quotes are published in his book, Life's Little Addiction. And when you have a need of some human coaching of life and relationships, take a look at Conversations with Trent, Volume 1 and 2, and Conversations with Trent, Limited Edition. You will find his works available at Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and all online book retailers.
Somebody gon' get to tell them that I'm coming. And you can tell them that I'm coming. Tell them that I'm. Somebody tell the world that I'm coming. I'm trying to tell the world that I'm coming. You can tell
I'll tell you in a minute.
Yeah, I
Mark's
don't know.
comment. I'll tell you in a minute what I thought. So,
He says, as with each show, I'm watching and listening to overstand. So you each have never been in a situationship. If so, what are the pros and cons?
I have.
Yes, I have. But honestly, it was, God, this was back when I was still in the military. Yeah, I did.
I've been in a ton of situationships.
I bet you have, sir.
I was in a full-blown situationship with the woman who was in a relationship, but I was the main guy. Should I run that back and replay
Whoa,
that again?
yeah. Say that again. Rewind.
I was in a full-blown situationship with the woman who was in a relationship, but I was the main guy.
How were you the main guy?
I was the main guy.
But how? So right? What was the other relationship?
Okay, we're back.
I can hear you.
So again, folks, I am right again. The problem was with the device. Well, actually, the device in the seat is in between the device and the seat. That's where the problem was. I'm not gonna say anything less. I'm not gonna say anything else.
Okay. Hi, everyone.
You know exactly what the problem was, right? Right. So let's get down to business. Let's get down. I'm being petty, folks. I'm being real petty.
Yes, you are.
So, let's get down to the traditional views, right? When we talk about masculinity with emotional restraint, right? Teaching men that crying is a sign of weakness or a lack of control. Phrases like "man up," or "boys don't cry," referencing the idea that emotional expression especially tears into a manlyhood, right?
Correct.
That's not it, man. That's not it. Me personally, I believe that. And I think some men really believe that, being vulnerable is strength. Crying is a strength. It really is. It really is. We'll break it down. We'll talk about the change of cultural norms and all that good stuff. So what's your thoughts on that, La? What's your thoughts on that? I'll get
My
to
thoughts came. Hi, everyone. How y'all doing? My thoughts, when it came up to for men cry too, it really never came upon me like that men really don't cry until one of my friends behind me, he brought it up to me. And his subject, he's from Dubai and he's a businessman. And Muhammad asked me, he said, "La, if a man cry, is that a sign of weakness?" Because from his childhood, his dad taught him that he should be strong. So as a kid, he didn't cry. He kept all his emotions inside. So I told him to stop letting his parents and society tell him that men aren't supposed to cry. Because I said that's bullshit. Because at the end of the day, we all are human, right?
That's right. That's right.
So, right. So I say men break down. Go ahead.
Since you went there, let's talk about changing cultural norms, right? In modern times, there's growing recognition for emotional openness. In today's time, emotional openness is actually more accepting to folks and what have you, right? When you think about that, that's all you hear these days. Oh, emotional, intelligence, all this type of stuff. But in modern time, let's go back a little bit. When we were growing up, I never had that problem. As far as my father allowed me to express myself, me and my siblings, we were allowed to, express ourselves and say exactly how we feel. And if we had to cry about it, we cry about it and keep it pushing. But we talked it over, so we were never, it was never frowned upon in our household to express ourselves. Never at all. My dad was tough, but he also allowed us to express ourselves.
Express yourself.
Exactly. So that's kind of, that's foreign territory for me when we talk about men don't cry. Me personally, crying is healing, in my opinion. Crying is healing.
Yes,
Go ahead. I
definitely.
didn't want to step on you. Go ahead and finish your thought on your friend.
No, I was gonna ask you because I know some men, I was gonna ask you, how do you show your emotions? Because under those circumstances that you say, like my dad allow us to express our emotions as well as my brothers. It was okay to
Yeah.
express their emotions, but according to society, they feel like men are only allowed to express their emotions like during funerals or maybe
Right.
like an intense joy situation. So what you think? How do you think, men should show their emotions?
I mean, be very open, man. To me, like I said, the when you open and you're showing your emotions, that's honesty. Who doesn't want to be, told the truth? Who doesn't want to speak with a friend who's actually speaking honesty? Who
Right.
doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? Think about it for a second. Who doesn't want that? You know, most times when if I'm not being vulnerable, if I'm not being vulnerable, I'm not being open.
Right. Yes.
You know,
Correct.
think about
Right.
it for there's a lot of room for mistrust and lying, to whoever you're speaking with if you're not being open with them. And sometimes it takes a little vulnerability, man,
Yeah, it really does. I don't
in
know. I
any
say us as
relationship.
women nurturers. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step on you. I'm sorry.
Now, go ahead, do your thing.
I was saying that we pour into our men, right? So, but they don't always reciprocate all of our needs as well, right? Or wants. But if they cry, we consider them weak.
Right,
But as women, we want them to have effective communication and transparencies. So with the relationship wise part, I said, maybe we ought to be open with our men and say, like, what do you
uh,
need from me? uh,
right,
or express that. And then that way that transparency, that effective communication could come in like we talked
hmm
about the last time. People are not that open, like with their
right.
emotions, and stuff
Exactly.
like
So
that.
I get it. So let's talk about social double standards, right? Social
Okay,
double standards, right? While
go ahead.
society increasingly praise men for being vulnerable, there can still be mixed reactions. Some still internalize the stereotypes that strong men don't cry. Otherwise, others admire vulnerability, but may feel uncomfortable witnessing it in certain contexts. That's what you're speaking about. So in
Yes,
certain contexts it's okay, but I'm gonna disagree with that slightly. It shouldn't be in certain contexts. I mean, if I'm being vulnerable with you, that's what it is. You know what I'm
right,
saying? That's what it
right,
is. Whether we're in a romantic relationship, whether we friends talking honest talk.
right.
Can I get vulnerable with you? Can I feel safe with you? Because men need a
Yeah,
safe space as well to
yes.
let everything open.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? To be open enough. Is this a safe spot for me? Is this a
Right.
safe spot for me to speak my feelings and to say exactly how I feel? Or when I get vulnerable and I might slightly cry, are you going to take my kindness for a weakness by me opening up to you? And that's what most men are afraid of. Let's just say, let's give an example here in relationships. I have friends who are afraid to speak to their spouses or their significant others in fear of their spouse or their significant other might regurgitate that back to them at some time during a mad point. I'll say that again. Through a mad period, they're going to regurgitate that back to them. Hey, listen,
Not all the time.
and throw it back in, not all the time, but most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, here in the black community, men it's frowned upon men who's actually open and vulnerable. I sent this over to Slash, and he was sending some snapshots over talking about when I told him what the topic was or what have you, and
Okay.
men who cried in public. The guy Vance from CNN, that was known, that was all over the world, cry right there
Yes.
when Biden was actually elected. Terrell Owens, who when he was at the Dallas Cowboys, he cried. The guy
Yes.
got ridiculed. The guy got ridiculed, and by his
Mm-hmm.
own kind. Let's be honest, by his
Yes.
own kind.
Yes.
Not only women, but men as well, black men as
Yes.
well. And
Yes.
some black men who are afraid to be vulnerable and cry and express themselves look at that as a weak man, but as the total opposite. There's a clear, distinct difference between the two, a man who cries and a man who suppressed that. I
Yes.
say the man who suppressed that is a weak man.
Yes. I agree.
Exactly.
I totally agree.
But why do you think that that's a double standard here? I can't do that. I can't do that right now. So why do you think that's a double standard?
Well, I think it's a double standard because I think a lot of people, they will they'll suppress him. They figure that, okay, well, he's weak from crying on TV or expressing his feelings, but at the same time, that's something that they wish they can do, but they're
Right.
not confident or secure enough because they're afraid that they're going to be judged. So to take the
Right.
ridicule off of them, you know what I'm saying? They make fun of him when really he has feelings. He's human. He's emotional. You know,
Absolutely.
we all
Absolutely.
human. We all got to let it out sometimes. If not,
Exactly.
it'll be bottled up, and then what that lead us to? What?
Exactly. Here's the thing: what
Addiction.
people fail to realize, man, a man's tears are not a sign of failure, but honesty. That's what I was speaking about. So I jotted
Right.
down a ton of bullet points here, just thinking about over the years and how I was, how I was vulnerable with certain exes and how they took it. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always been an open book as far as my feelings and how I feel and how things make me feel. Completely honest, completely transparent. Let's be honest and fair. A lot of women, particularly black women, cannot handle that. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a
Well,
buck.
let's
If they
keep it
have not,
real
if,
too. A lot of black men can't handle that either when a woman is
I'm
that real
agreeing
with
with
them.
that.
Because I've been in a few of them too, and they find me. I ain't gonna say intimidating, but it's like, wow, no, she can't be that real or whatever. When you're being vulnerable and you're being open, so they can understand both sides. You're trying to be transparent and let everything out on the table so you can be comfortable. But
Sound like
that works
that's a
both ways.
lopsided situation. Yeah, it sounds like that's a
Yeah,
lopsided situation. You know what I'm saying? But and that's normal. Like if you're transparent with your person, whoever it is, whether it be a man or a woman, if that person is kind of pushing back and resisting that transparency and that vulnerability, hey, that maybe that's not the person for you. Maybe that's
right.
not the person for you. You know what I'm saying? So
No,
when we talk about a sign of failure, it's not a sign of failure, man. It's not a sign of failure. It's a sign of strong honesty. If I could be
correct.
vulnerable with you, if I could be vulnerable with you, I could definitely be honest with you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Here's another
Exactly.
one. Real strength is the courage to feel, right? Think about that, right? Real strength. We talk about real strength. It takes courage to feel. And then not
Yes,
only
it
that,
does.
but express it. And when I
Mm-hmm.
say, what do you mean by that, Trent? When I say real strength is the courage to feel, meaning how many people suppress their feelings, their true feelings? Like they're avoiding
Exactly.
that feeling. It's almost like they're really avoiding that feeling. How many
Mm-hmm.
men and women that does that? They don't want to feel that way. They don't want to feel that way. They don't want, and the reason why, because they don't want to address the issue.
Right.
They don't want to address the issue. So that's why they avoid that. That's why they avoid it. What's your thoughts on that?
Well, I think a lot of people avoid their feelings because they don't want to be judged. So
Mhm.
at the end of the day, I just say, if we can't have those conversations, then we just won't grow. I just feel,
Man,
you know, I feel
right.
everybody should be allowed to express their feelings. And if a man is allowed to express his feelings and he does that to me, then I feel, he's
Right.
going to take my feelings into consideration. So I find it sexy. I think it's great. You know,
Do you believe that a man needs a safe space to open up?
yes, I do. I
Why did
think
you
we all need
pause?
a safe place. Huh?
Why did you pause?
Because I,
Wh- Why did you no,
I
I
had
want
to
you to
think
say
about that
why did you
because the
pause?
same guy asked me that. I paused because he asked me that. He said, "La, do you?" I got asked that same question, so that kind of
Uh,
caught me off guard. He asked me that, and I said, "I think a man need a safe place. I think we all need a safe place to be
uh,
open. I think it's on both sides, but I think men have it worse than women because y'all are told to keep y'all feelings
uh,
bottled in. or y'all not, if y'all cry, y'all not a man. Suck it up. You know what I'm saying? It's either suck it up or, you're not a man, or they're not going to accept you in society. Just take it in and be the man and walk it off. But you closing all that in. So where they get you at?
Exactly. Look, let's say what's up to Slash. I see Slash here. It says, Grand Rising Melody people. Greetings, Miss La and Miss Dappy.
Hello.
He also says, I see La hasn't brought her glasses again. That's interesting, quite interesting, but we're going to leave that right there. Can you see that? You can't see that?
No, I can't see that.
I'm gonna leave that one there. I'm gonna leave that one alone. We're gonna leave that one alone. Let's talk about
why you're not reading it. Read it.
I can't see
you
it.
Can't see
I honestly can't see it.
Oh.
The monitors is too far away from me. But anyway, let's talk about confidence and balance, right? A man who cries is comfortable with his emotions, tends to be viewed positively, as it shows emotional maturity. Again, it shows emotional maturity when a man expresses himself. But the question is, can you handle that emotional maturity? That's the question. That's the question for, and I'm gonna keep going back to this because I truly believe that women don't give men a safe space to be vulnerable. It's genuinely, some of them, but there's a high percentage that don't. You know what I'm saying?
They give them a safe place. You said a safe place to be vulnerable?
Correct. It has a safe space to be vulnerable. I'll give you an example. I was speaking with a friend of mine. This guy's been married for 25 years. And he told me straight up, he did not feel safe being vulnerable with his wife. Because she's always, every time he's vulnerable with her, she's always regurgitating it back to him. She's always spitting it back up to him down the line on Mad Day. That's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair. Every person, I'm just not going to just say men, every person, man and woman, our child should have a safe space to be vulnerable and speak how they truly feel. That's how you're going to get the truth. So why would one get ridiculed for being honest?
Well, to me, that's a lack of communication. Because at the end of the day, that's why I was telling you, when you come in for being with the effective communication and transparency, you can say, baby, when I'm upset, I need time. Maybe I need 10 or 15 minutes to get myself together. And if that person don't listen to you when you tell them, that's the way you handle things in situations when you get upset, then of course, then they're going to lash out. That don't mean that he's a bad person or whatever. That's just a lack of communication on both parts. So that's somewhere where they need to sit down and have a conversation on how to work things out. You see what I'm saying?
I get you. But he actually expressed that to her, and she continuously does that. I was like, well, maybe she's out of bounds, man. Maybe you need to have a deeper conversation with her because that's not fair. It's not right.
Definitely it's not.
Right. Definitely not right. So let's talk about research, right? Research suggests that when men feel safe to express themselves, to express their emotions, it reduces stress, improves relationships, and leads to better mental outcomes. Again, better mental outcomes. A lot of people don't realize that, man. When you talk about, being vulnerable, it's a stress reliever.
It is.
You'll be able to get things off of your chest. You'll be able to say exactly what you've been holding all that time. Expressing yourself. It's a release. It's a reliever.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's healthy for the mental, very healthy for the mental. But if you're with a person who rejects your transparency and don't want you to be vulnerable, because you being vulnerable, 9 times out of 10, you being vulnerable, you're giving her mirror, or you're giving him his mirror. What do you mean, Trent? Meaning, I'm vulnerable. I'm showing you what you're not. I'm showing you that you're not strong. I'm showing you that you don't have the courage to express yourself. You don't have the courage to be genuine with yourself.
Yes.
So when a person is being very vulnerable and crying in front of you, and they're not accepting that, and they're ridiculing you, you're really showing that person their mirror. You showing them. That's a reflection of them of what they are not. Again, I'll say
Yes.
that again. That's a
Yes. Say it
reflection
again.
of what they are not.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a
Yes.
buck.
I agree.
So let's hover back. I'm gonna keep on going back to this because I truly believe that a lot of women in this culture do not like a vulnerable man, do not like a man who cries, do not like a man who is open in this culture. And when I say this culture, the black community. Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. Most times they're ridiculed, they're talked about. An example, Psych Fly sent me over some examples. Terrell Owens. Oh, here's one that he didn't send. Tyrese Gibson. That crime meme went all over the place. Another one, Michael Jordan. That crime meme was viral all over the world. A black man crying, another black man crying, another black man crying. Why is that? Why is that? And let's talk about the situation with Tyrese for a second. Tyrese was crying about the situation with his wife, his then wife, and they were headed to a divorce, and they were in child support, and he was just crying. He's expressing himself. He wanted some type of relief, some type of help, some assistance. Yeah, he got a ton of money and all this other stuff and whatnot, right? But why was that a joke for everybody, especially in this community? Why was that a joke? And this man is actually reaching out, crying, asking for assistance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Completely asking for assistance, but everybody just had a joke. Let's create a meme. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about how funny it is. And that's crazy to me, man. That is crazy to me that a man who is expressing himself, and clearly he was in heartbreak. He had some bad heartbreak going on about his kid, about his daughter. No one listened because they gravitated to the crime. They gravitated toward the trauma. And the only reason that people gravitate toward trauma because they have trauma.
That's what it is.
Let's keep it a buck. The only
That's the
reason why
truth.
they gravitated toward the negative piece of that is because they gravitated to that trauma he was in because they got trauma in their life. So they make
Right.
a joke about it. So making a joke about someone else make them feel better about themselves temporarily.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I don't look down on brothers who cry. I don't look down on brothers who express themselves. I welcome that. Like if I'm having an issue with a brother, right? I want to talk about it. Let's talk about it, man. Let's have a conversation. We're not gonna bicker about it. Let's have a conversation, an adult conversation. You know what I'm saying? And most times when you want to have an adult conversation with a person who has not done the work, that's an issue for them.
Definitely.
That's when you become the bad guy. That's when you
Thank God.
become the soft guy. That's when you become, oh, he's soft, he's not confrontational. No, you really don't want to wake this monster, but let's talk about it. So I won't have to wake him up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
What's your thoughts? Go ahead. What
I don't know. I think they learned that vulnerability is weakness and emotions are something to hide, not to express. But I came up with, I just say the truth is pain doesn't disappear just because it's buried. I just feel that it grows. And over time, it turns into anxiety, depression, and addiction, or even worse, silence that never can get broken. So
true.
I say to every man, it's okay to cry. I don't know. I think everybody should be able to express their feelings. I don't think,
Mhm.
I think more for men that they have it worse than women. But at the same time, I feel that that man's strong enough to be vulnerable, that he should be respected for letting out his
Exactly.
feelings. I
Exactly.
think it's a great thing. I don't think nothing should be bottled in, you
So
know.
let's talk about cultural differences since I brought up the culture, right?
Okay.
Since I brought up the culture. In some cultures, male tears more normalized, like Japan, the Mediterranean cultures, while others remain a value. Eh, It's not valued. It's not, honestly, it's not valued. So
Right.
on the list, on the high list, it will be Japan and the Mediterranean cultures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Let's talk about media representation of men who cry, like I said about Tyrese, Jordan, Terrell, Vance over at CNN. You know, that's, politics, sports, film, all that stuff, right? Influence
Exactly.
everything. All that stuff influences attitudes. We talk about that. Film, some pictures. I still cry over, different movies.
Me too.
A certain movie, I'll cry. I'll definitely cry.
Mm-hmm.
I won't cry for a sports team. I guarantee you that.
Oh, okay.
I
Well,
will
that could
not
be
cry
considered
for,
weak
no,
if you
it's
cry
not
for
because
a
my emotions not wrapped up into sports like that. So
Okay.
I can't see myself crying as a grown man because of a team losing. But
But I have seen that.
I've seen it as well. I've seen it as well. But here's the thing though. You know what that is? That's good marketing. Who's ever driving that marketing ball? That's good marketing. That's all it is. That's all it is. They're pulling on heartstrings. That's all it is. But I'm not wrapped up into a team like that to cry because they lost a game. Hell, I didn't play the game. I didn't play. I'm not getting paid.
I
I can
know.
get the check. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So no, that's just not me. That's not me at all. As far as politics, when you emotionally tied to something like that, like per se, like politics or a sports team or something like that, that's an underlying issue, man. If you're emotionally wrapped into that, there's an underlying issue, and most issues is contributes to some type of trauma in their past. In their past. If you allow politics or a certain political figure to get to you, something's wrong. Something's wrong and
Right.
need to be addressed. Something's wrong and need to be addressed. So, I don't agree with that as far as, all that crying, getting emotional on something that I can't control.
Control.
I
Right.
don't believe that. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that at all. What's your thoughts on
Okay.
that?
But I seen team players who lost the game cry and the cameras come on them. These grown men who lost the game, or even if they lost a championship or something. How do you feel about that when they done lost the game or something and
They
they on the field, they on the court and they cry? Do we,
they're emotionally wrapped into it. I mean, that's what they do.
Yeah.
They have a passion for that.
Yes.
So that they have a passion for it. But if somehow a
Mm-hmm.
spectator crying for a game, I can
No.
see that with someone who has a passion for the game, someone who has done this their entire life, from Pop Warner ball
Yeah.
to grown man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I can see that
Right.
because they're wrapped up into that. But I'm talking about a
Yeah.
spectator.
Yeah, but a spectator go cry because he probably made a bet on it and he lost his money.
Eh, Perhaps,
That's what that
per-
is. He ain't crying
perhaps,
because of that.
perhaps,
You know what that
perhaps,
is.
perhaps,
Not that
perhaps,
serious,
perhaps.
like you say. Politics you can't control.
No, you can't
You
control that,
can't
man. So
control.
I'm not gonna wrap my emotion into something that I cannot control.
Right.
I'm not gonna wrap my emotions around that. Because if you could wrap your emotions around that, whatever that is can control you. Think about that
Yes,
for a second.
I agree.
Whatever that is, that can control you, whether it be a woman, whether it be a politician, whether it be whatever you wrapped in emotionally, they can control you. You
But
know,
that's only
I'm
if
not
you
gonna,
allow it. That's and then you
yeah,
bringing your heart into that.
right,
So yeah, that's an individual. That's
right,
you as an
right, right,
individual for your needs, for your emotions. So you got to control that. Another person cannot control what you feel
right,
or what you feel is what's important to you.
right.
That's up to that individual.
That's
So you
true.
can't control your heart. Nobody can control your heart or tell you how to feel or what makes you cry, what don't make you cry, or what makes you vulnerable or not vulnerable. It's
Right,
up to you as that individual because they don't know what situation you're in at that time or who you're with. They
right.
don't know. Yeah, that's
Exactly.
judged.
That's true. Real talk, real talk, real talk.
Yeah.
Slash says, let me see if I can get this. It says Lie failed to bring her glasses here again. So let's bring these. I just highlighted the thing here. Let's get it right here. Okay. Men do cry. To bring that back to the top, it's just that brothers are penalized and judged for crying. It's the double standard protected by complexion. If we cry, we're being emotional on the sum. Let's go to the other one. Let's see what he's saying. One sec. He's got a continuation of that. Let's go. Let's get back to the comment I couldn't read there. Let's see.
I want to see if I see that with my old glasses. Let me
I truly
see.
appreciate. I really would appreciate that. I really would.
I cannot see with my old glasses. I'm waiting for my new ones. I can't see with those.
Ladies and gentlemen, La is blind over there. She's blind
Oh,
over there.
yeah.
So let
I cannot
me do the
that
trick
close.
here again in the studio. Let me do the trick here in the studio. Okay, since La is a twin, did she feel when her twin cried?
Wow, that's deep.
That's the question.
You know what? I can. I really can. I felt when my brother was emotional. That's the truth.
So that's
We
a
do.
real thing.
That's a real thing. I can feel it. I definitely can. I know when something's wrong. That ain't gonna lie. Just something about our blood. I do. That's a good question. Yeah, I really can.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that is the thing. That really is the thing. I wrote this quote maybe about an hour before the show as I was actually jotting down my notes and getting my notes together. Right. Men cry too, not because they're fragile, but because they are alive. And I wrote that quote for this reason. Everyone knows who follows the platform, the situation that I found myself in 5.5 years ago. And it was a tough one. I don't think, the average man wouldn't have gotten through it. But what made me feel
resilient,
normal again? No, what made me feel normal again was, my spirit was broken, one, and my ego was taken away from me. Okay. And I became emotional about that, because when you're going through a paralyzation, situation and you're trying to fight your way back and get your strength and muscle memory and all that stuff, that's a huge ego buster.
Yeah.
That's a huge break, as God breaking that ego up, breaking it up. I cried many, many, many nights. I'm saying. And I came to, after I come on the other side of that, once, that dark tunnel started, I started seeing that light in that dark tunnel. I started seeing the light. I was like, wow, I'm alive. I'm not fragile. I'm alive. I could cry. I could express myself. I'm alive. So when a person cries, that's healing. But I had to learn that. And I didn't realize that until I got closer to that light on the other side of that dark tunnel. I was alive. Who don't want to be alive? So I stopped looking at myself in that fragile state. It's like, damn, I'm alive. I made it. And those tears just flowed like the Mediterranean Sea going into the Nile. You know what I'm saying? That's a powerful thing, man. That's a powerful thing when a man can cry. When I cried, I knew I could conquer anything. That's a powerful thing. Let's get back to Slash's comment 1 sec. Let's see. Oh, we got another guy here. 1 sec. Let's see what they say here. Let's pull it up there. Hey, Tamik, I see you. What's going on, Tamik? Thank you for joining us, Tamik. 1 sec. Let's go to
Tamika.
Slash is coming. Let's get to him real quick. Okay. He says, acting light skin. If a generic cries, cries, he's passionate. You know what he mean when he say generic, right? If a generic cries, think about it. Not non-melanated. Let's say that right. Cries, he's passionate. If it's shown on social media, the Matrix / the Matrix, it's a ribbing session. Again, I'll read that again, right? Let me read that because I'm chopping this up. Acting light-skinned. Think about that. Acting light-skinned. He's talking in riddles, but you know what he's talking about.
I know what he's saying.
If a generic cries, he's passionate. Think about that. A heroic cry. Oh man, it's heroic. He's crying. Normally, somebody saying a heroic cry, you know who that is, right? That's the other folks saying that, right? But you know, if a black man cry, let's just call it for what it is. If a black man cry on social media, the Matrix, all that stuff, it's a ribbon season. I gotta agree with him. Just like my example, he proves my example. Tyrese Gibson, Michael Jordan, Vance, I can forget his last name, but the guy over at CNN, the Ball brother on CNN, Terrell Owens, Dallas Cowboys, when he played with Dallas Cowboys, he cried. He was ridiculed. Kanye West crying out, ridiculed. You know what I'm saying? Why is it that always when black men cry, it's a problem. It's a joking season. It's a joke fest by his own people. By his own people. That's a problem within itself. When you think about it, that's a real problem within itself. And most of the people, again, like I said in the opening, most of the people who's actually ridiculing and clowning a person who's crying and expressing themselves, they're crying to stop from laughing. I mean, they're laughing to stop from crying. Let's say that.
Yeah.
They're laughing at that person to stop from crying themselves.
Yeah, to stop from crying. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, to hold it back. Yeah. Yeah, to get the mask off of them.
Exactly. So, you know, yes, that's a good point. That's a great point, Slash. That's a real great point. Because, you know, it's looked upon as heroic when other folks do it. When a black man do it, oh man, y'all can't believe you crying like that. I can't believe this dude crying like that. And
Why?
to be honest with you, most of the time it's us who's doing the ridiculing. You know, we have to stop normalizing that when a black man cried, we talk down on him. You never know what that brother's going through. You never know what mountains he's climbing. You never know what the rough terrain he's come through. So instead of ridiculing him, encourage him. I try and talk him out of that. You know what I'm saying? Talk him off of the cliff instead of pushing him. I'll say that again. Talk him off of the cliff instead of pushing him. Think about that. Tamika, she says something there. One sec. Let's pull it up. All right. My brothers was taught that men don't cry. I never seen my brothers cry until I got sick. You know why? Because they were emotional, because that's their sister and they love their sister. But you know, for her brothers, I gotta be honest with you, man, that's some type of weakness if you've never cried. I tell it to my brothers all the time. Like you're not if you don't cry, man, that's a weakness. It takes a ton of strength to cry.
Yeah, it takes strength to cry.
It takes strength to cry.
It does.
Takes a ton of strength. Yeah, it takes a ton of strength. So I'm hoping.
You know how much power it is to let that out?
Exactly.
It's powerful to let that out.
Exactly. I'm hoping that our siblings cry because they wanted to be strong for their sister.
Yes,
you know
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
I'm more than sure they just ain't crying for her. I'm more than sure they was letting out tears that they had all bottled up, that they couldn't never express. That's a lot. That's deep.
Exactly.
That's really deep. Yes.
Exactly. Slash, come back with a comment. Appreciate your comment, sis. 1 second. Let me get the Slash comment here. Let's see. I can't see that. Now she won't laugh. Oh, okay.
You could say I'm blind. We both blind. Oh, yeah.
That's all good. Normally I have, somebody else doing that for me.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna leave that alone.
So he says,
in retrospect, It's because we are the standard. Absolutely. We set the bar, and most trends, absolutely, not most trends, all trends. Because a lot of men are comfortable in their own skin. I'll clean that up a little bit for him right there. A lot of black men are comfortable in their own skin, enough to just be a man about it, like Tony Braxton saying. Absolutely, man. But
Mhm.
that's true. That's really true. We set the standard, and we actually we are the trend. Honestly, let's keep it a buck. We are the trend. So, that's something I need to look into, man. Like, it's frowned upon because they want us to appear weak. They want us to, but it's not in us. Weakness
No,
is
it's
not
not.
weakness is not in a black man. It's not.
No,
Period.
y'all been
I got
fighting
to
your
keep
whole
it a
life.
buck. Exactly. Got to keep it a buck. So weakness is not in us, man. That's just not a part of our DNA at all.
No,
You know.
no.
And I'm not making this a racial thing. I'm not making it a racial thing. I'm just being honest about it. Weakness is not in a black man. He just got to dig a little deeper to get it. If he's a little, if he feeling like he's less worthy, just got to dig for it. It's there. He just got to go get it. He just got to go get it. Simple as that. Simple as that. You want to add to that, law?
Well, I think we, like you just said, I think weakness is in all men in all society. I think
Right.
it depends how you grew up and how you're allowed to express it. Or if
Right.
you do come out as that person and you just, that leader, wow, I'm just gonna say what's on my mind. It's just what it is, and I'm
Right.
gonna express myself. And I don't think
Exactly.
it's basically just black men, white men. I think it's in all cultures.
I
You
think it
you
is.
you don't believe that? I think it's in all cultures.
Well, I talked about the multicultural and all that stuff and whatnot.
Yeah,
I talked about that. So yeah, it's in all cultures and as a whole. But I'm talking
yeah,
about particularly in this position because I'm a black man. I'm talking about black man's emotions and black men do cry.
yes,
Black
they
men
do.
really do cry. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
They do. And there's nothing
they
wrong
do.
with crying. And the reason
No,
why I'm focusing on black men is because we're the ones that's ridiculed when we do cry.
yes, yes,
Just like
yeah,
just
y'all
like
are.
Slash said, when a man when a non-melanated person cry on television, that's a heroic cry. So why is that a heroic cry and why the other one
But
isn't?
y'all find the problem.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So I'm here to break the norm, man. I'm here to break that stereotype. So, when I speak about, men cry too, I'm particularly talking about black men because I'm a black man. And I know a ton of brothers who cry. I know a ton of brothers who've cried with me, you know, and vice versa. So I know a ton of them, not
me
strong
too.
brothers,
Yes,
strong brothers,
strong. Yes,
strong brothers.
I
So,
know. Hmm.
I'm here to break that old stereotype up because that's not it. That's not it. And got to be honest, honestly, I've seen black women ridicule men who cry, black men who cry. They really do. They really do. So, that has to be checked. Not only does it have to be checked, you know what I'm saying? It has to be brought to the forefront. I got to keep it
Okay,
a buck. I'm more than sure I'll get some bad email on it, but it's the truth. If the truth hurts, man, send me an email, trentwill@takekin.com. But it's the
right.
truth.
Well, a lot of women do. They are going to express their feelings with the men and tell them that they shouldn't cry because that was brought down to them. Just like Tamika said, her brothers they were not allowed to cry as men,
Right.
but they did cry for her when she got sick and she was in the hospital. They were allowed to show their emotions, or it just came out because that was their sister. But at the
Right.
same time, if that's the way I was raised, and I see that's how my dad taught my brothers, when that woman is getting into a relationship with that other man, she's probably going to set the example that her father said to her, like, men don't cry, suck it up. get it done. Find a solution.
Yeah.
Where he can cry, but at the end of the day, what you're gonna do about it? That's the point. Now, if he go keep
I
on
get
crying and
that.
you don't do nothing about it, then yeah, I'm gonna call you a little wimp or whatever. What you gonna do about this? Find a solution. Let's work on this. You know what I'm saying? You
I
can't sit
get
there
that,
and just
but
sit there.
there's a way to talk about that instead of ridiculing
Right,
a man who's
right.
actually crying.
And I agree.
That there's a compassionate way to talk about that. You
Right,
never know the weight that black man is carrying daily when he leave that house.
right.
You know what I'm saying? You never know. You know, when a black man leaves the house, it's totally different from any other man on the planet leaving the house. One,
I don't
when
agree with that.
oh, you want to
I
have that
agree with
conversation? You want to
but
have
see,
that
I don't
conversation?
agree with that because I say that's what any man. You really don't know what person went through anything. You just gonna
I
say a
get what
black
you're
man.
saying. I get what you're saying. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm
Okay,
glad
go.
you said that. I'm gonna give you an
Uh-huh.
example.
Go.
One day, about 10 years ago, I was in a book signing in Atlanta. Got sick, lungs collapsed, and all this other stuff. And once I recovered, I came back to New Orleans, and I was healing up. I had to make a bank run. Okay, so I couldn't drive at that time. Still couldn't drive. With the injury,
Hmm.
and I called a friend of mine. I said, "Hey man, take me to the bank. I need to go and grab some money real quick." So she picked me up, took me over to the bank, literally 10 minutes away. Went to Chase Bank, went to the ATM machine, withdrew the money, driving off. She's driving off, going, how you go around when you come around into the
To the
situation is for
driver.
when you do the drive-through, right? So
Yeah.
I made the transaction, everything's good. 10 to 15 police cars surrounded the car. 10 police cars. Now I'm withdrawing my own money. They pointing their gun, telling me to get out the car. I'm on the passenger side at this point. I just left my home. Think about what I just said. I just left my home.
Yeah.
Not even 5 minutes. They said I fit the description of a young black man who was 25. You know how I was at that time?
Hmm.
I was 40. And you know what that young black man looked like? He had
Hmm.
dreads. I had a bald head.
Hey.
How do I fit that description? So
Yeah,
my
you said.
friend,
Mhm.
my friends tell him, you got the wrong guy. He's not even that guy. He's not that guy. You got the wrong guy. This guy owns a business. He's not that guy. He's not that guy. The guy, they had the gun to my head on the ground. The guy telling me, make a move, make an excuse, say anything. Give me an excuse to do it. 5 minutes away from my house as a black man walking out to get my own money. So can nobody tell me there's no difference? There's a difference than a black man leaving his house in the morning, than a white man, an Asian man, whoever. Total difference. We're a threat as soon as we walk out of the door. Black men are a threat as soon as we walk out the door. That's not something I'm reading. That's something I experience.
Right.
So
Right.
I can't agree with that one. I can't agree with that one.
Well, I
So
can agree with you with that one. I thought you was just talking about emotional wise, period. Like you just don't know what a person going through. But with that standard, all black men feel like that. Because you don't
exactly,
know
that's
you
my
could
point.
wear a hoodie. Now they don't want you to wear hoodies. That's being
That's my
taken out.
point.
Yeah,
That's my
it's not
point. That's
fair.
my point. So
Yeah.
when we walk when it's like I said, it's totally different when a
Yes.
black man walks out of the house. So let's circle
Yeah.
back to the topic, right? So you never
Okay.
know what that man has gone through to that day. Why is he crying? So, at the end of the day, man, let's not ridicule that black man for
Right.
crying. Try to understand him. Try to see what's going on. Because if he's crying, he's emotionally reaching out to you. Like, hey, listen, I need somebody to hear me. I need
Yeah.
someone to hear me. That's
Yeah.
what I hear when someone's crying out.
Yes.
I'm hearing, I need someone to hear me. You know what I do? Trent stops and talk to them. And I talk them off that ledge. I don't push them. I talk them
Right.
off the ledge. You know what I'm saying? So it's totally different, man. Black people calling me, they know I'm on the podcast here. But hey, it is what it is. A live TV, live
I
broadcast.
agree.
But anyway,
I'm
so
sorry that happened to you, Mr. Trent.
it's all
That shouldn't
good.
happen to nobody.
It shouldn't happen to anyone. Not even
Yeah, I know.
nobody. It shouldn't happen to anyone.
Nobody.
What the
Right.
hell?
Wow.
Yeah, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just appalled, Yeah, that happened to my brother, so I can relate.
Exactly.
So, yes.
Exactly. But like I said, man, when we talk about men cry, so again, men, period. Because I stressed black men, but men, period, man. It's not, you're not fragile when you cry. You're definitely not fragile. That's a sign of strength. That's a sign that you're alive.
Right.
That's a sign that you're alive. That's a sign that you're vulnerable. Vulnerable doesn't say weakness, man. Vulnerable says strength. Vulnerable says
Yeah,
honesty. You know what I'm saying? If I could be honest with you, if I could be vulnerable with you, I can be honest with you. I could tell you the truth.
exactly.
I could tell you
Yes.
the truth. That's what vulnerable means to me. To me, that's the
Mm-hmm.
definition of vulnerable honesty. You know what I'm saying? But people don't get that these days. And most times the people that don't get that, they struggle with themselves. Let's
They
keep it a
do.
buck.
Yeah.
Let's keep it a buck. So, hey, it is what it is, man. Let me we're gonna close this one out here tonight. It's really another good one here as well. Took some time to get it going and started because Miss La had some microphone problem. We're gonna leave that alone. That's me being petty again. I'm sorry.
I won't
I'm only
close it
teasing.
out.
I'm only teasing.
I
Again,
know.
so when we talk about men crying, it's normal, and we're here to
Yeah.
normalize that. So there's nothing wrong
Yeah.
with a man crying, any man crying, right? So we're not going to put the pretty word on it, a heroic cry. No, we're not doing that. An heroic cry. That's a facade. That's a complete
Exactly.
facade. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? If you cry, you're strong. If you cry, you're alive.
Cry, you're human.
If you cry, you're human.
I
We
agree.
all living in an imperfect world, doing imperfect things. Let's keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? So there's
Right.
nothing wrong with crying, man. Nothing wrong with crying. Nothing wrong
No.
with crying. And as I was writing this topic up, I thought about the conversation you and I had, right? I was like, that's a stigma, man. And particularly on black people, on black
Yeah, it
men.
is.
You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? On black men, period. That's a stigma.
Yeah.
A stigma
Yeah.
that needs to be broken. Yeah,
Right.
I don't subscribe to that at all.
Me either.
I don't subscribe to it. So until next time, folks, we truly appreciate you guys. I got to get out of here. Kobe needs to walk and whatnot, and I got to be back on air um, at the 5 o'clock hour here in the States. I'll be broadcasting with nutrition coach Catherine Getu. We'll be talking about the effects of not eating breakfast. The effects of
Mhm.
not eating
Right.
breakfast. We'll be talking about that in the morning here in the States and in the afternoon over in France at the 14-hour streaming live into France over there in Europe. So we truly appreciate you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to subscribe to Apple, Spotify, all that good stuff. On Apple, we got a special going there. Actually, it's not a special, it's always there. 3 days free. After that, $1.99 a month. You guys get a plethora of content, podcasts, different podcasts from conversation with Trent Friends. We call this the mothership.
Mhm.
Um, Conversation in Prime Time with Slash and myself, and of course the Nutrition Edition over in France with Catherine Getu, the Nutrition Edition of Conversation. So you guys check that out. We truly, truly, truly appreciate all the support. Appreciate all the subscribers coming in from Poland last week. I saw that come through the analytics. Truly appreciate you, Poland. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We do well. We're doing well over in Europe. Let's see what's going on with the States. All right. The conversation is back. I was on hiatus for quite some time, man. After coming out of a wheelchair. I decided to bring it back. So the conversation's back. We truly appreciate all the support through 175 different countries and regions. Truly appreciate the conversation's back. So until next time, we'll talk again. Hopefully, La brings those glasses for the prime time.
I want to tell everybody, I want to let all the men watching this know that it's okay. You're not alone. Your feelings are valid. It's okay to talk. It's okay to cry. It's okay to ask for help. Healing isn't weakness. It's power.
That's what we're going to close on that note. I totally agree with that. And you notice how she just skated over what I said with the glasses.
I had to brush that off.
It's all good, all good. As always, I appreciate you, Miss Lady. Appreciate you. Get the folks your handle, man. Tell the folks where they can find you, get your content on Facebook. What's your name on Facebook to get the content?
Okay, I'm like us on Facebook. Or you can reach me at glashawn@yahoo.com. You know,
good stuff.
I'm a relationship coach, and if you need any questions for early childhood education, I'm a teacher as well. So I love to answer questions, and that's it. So that's what you can reach me at.
And if you guys have topics that you want us to take care of, not only here on the Conversation with Trent Friends, even on Conversation in Primetime, or if you have a health question for the nutrition coach and I, Catherine over in France, Trent Will at TayKen.com. Trent Will at TayKen, KENN, TayKen.com. Just send them over, man. We'll do them, and we'll try to address everything that comes through the email. So I try to get to all of them and address them as well. So truly appreciate that. Don't forget to subscribe. It's very important. That's how the conversation drives. That's how the platform moves. Subscribe. Because doing this content is not free. Got to keep it a buck. It is not free. Setting up this production, all this stuff is not free. This is not bells and whistles. This is checks and balances. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So truly appreciate you guys, and we'll be back with another one. Maybe Sunday. We'll do Sunday. And we're trying to get back to the Sunday slot for the conversation mothership to go back into. So maybe I can convince Law to come back for another one and just chop it up.
Okay.
And we'll see. maybe we'll talk about some relationship stuff and all that good stuff. So maybe. So good stuff, man.
Mm-hmm.
Truly appreciate you guys. Until next time, you guys be epic.
Bye.
Conversations with Trent in conjunction with Taylor Kennedy Media and your radio network would like to thank you for calling in and listening to tonight's episode. We hope that tonight's conversation offended you just enough to turn your mirror inward to come back for more. So until next week's conversation, be epic.